the time, though, throughout the day, usually more than once a day. So it doesn't feel like we live far apart. But we enjoy our time together a lot more, too. And we do.
And we really do. This is such a precious time, and I'm so glad you're sharing this with me and taking time out of our schedule to do this. That brings me to the hashtag Cup of Nickels. Because we live far apart, but we invest a lot of energy in one another. And one of my favorite speakers and writers is Carolyn Miss. She gives a great dissertation about how we are losing energy from the moment we wake up. Because let's say we start off with 100% before we put a foot out of the bed, and then we start thinking about finances, so we've wasted 30%. Then we're thinking about that coworker, we wasted another 10%. So we get out into the world, we have 60% left, and the world wants 100. Well, Kate, you see all the words I just used to describe that, explains it like this: cup of nickels. Kate, can you explain what the cup of nickels are, please?
The cup of nickels are, everybody has a cup, and we have to be filled with something, whether it's a conversation with our friend, or if you have quiet time in the morning to meditate, or whatever you do. You have to find a way to replenish what you give. And a lot of times that is through friendship, because we can build each other back up and fill that cup of nickels. And there's many times Monette has called me and said, my cup is empty, I need my cup filled, fill my cup. And that's what things are for. They are to fill your cup back up, because we have to have something to give out, but we also have to be able to receive, to be replenished. And so I just boil that down to cup of nickels, because it's so much easier to explain. And when one of us needs nickels, we can just say that and know what that means.
Absolutely. And so the picture painted for me when she first said it was a beggar on the street. You know, like somebody that's got a cup out, shaking, rattling the cup of nickels. So that's always what comes into my mind. And one of the things that's really interesting, too, is that Kate, in one of her previous incarnations in this lifetime, was a fabulous airline stewardess. And one of the things she would have to walk people through is putting on your own mask before you help the person next to you in case of an emergency. So there are times when I will call her and say, Kate, I don't care if you have nickels or not, I need them. Okay, meaning I don't care. And there are times when she's rebuffed me wisely and said, I don't have nickels today. I don't have them because this is going on in my life. And then we merge together and figure out how to lift each other instead of just taking from one another. So there's a lot of maneuvering that happens in a friendship, where sometimes they have to take care of themselves, listeners, and your friend might not have to give to you. That doesn't mean they don't love you. That doesn't mean they don't care about you. It means that they're doing the stewardess thing that they teach you, which is to put on their own mask and get their own oxygen and fill up their own cup before they try to fill yours. And I think that's a lesson Kate taught me. She had the ability with grace and kindness to say no sometimes when I needed something. And not because she didn't want to give it to me, but because she needed to be replenished herself. Wouldn't you agree, Kate?
Absolutely, yes. There have been times where we're not full to give anything. So to be able to just say that and that your friend to understand that it's not out of meanness, it's just the truth. Sometimes we just don't have anything to give. We are all pulled in so many directions every day, and we just have to come together and say, hey, this is going on, and it's hard to...
It is.
We can just work on it together.
And that's what we do. Together has been what we've done. Even though we've been apart, together has been our motto. And that brings us to our next thing, which is hashtag Jen and Jesus. And this is about our spiritual connection and how we really became friends over spirituality. We used to Bible study together. And while we were Bible studying, we sometimes imbibed with a little bit of gin to help Jesus come a little clearer to us. I don't know what we were doing.
Absolutely.
But we did do that, and it was ridiculous. But we were supposed to have to be friends. And listen, guys, I always talk to you about lifetime connections, soulmates, that whole principle, life partners. For me, Kate is definitely a soulmate, and that means we both are fire signs. And I always say this about soulmates. You're not always to walk with them through every single day of your life because you would burn each other out. Kay and I can very much eviscerate one another when time calls for it or if we're irritated, life happens. And that's why God has given us the space. But one of the things we've noticed when we were talking about the tenets of friendship in preparation for the show is that you have to evolve together. And Kate and I have both spiritually shifted and changed our views over the years. We've unlearned some things. We have relearned some other things. We've remembered things we've forgotten through coming into this life. How would you describe the way that we've evolved spiritually, Kate?
Oh, so much. We both come from a very similar background of how we grew up in church, and it was a very boxy type of religion. It was very religious, don't you think, for both of us?
Yes.
And the way that we've experienced our life, yeah. I'm a Christian. I believe in God and everything else, but I think there's so much more. And I was taught, meditation, all that kind of stuff was bad. So I had to unlearn a lot because that's not true. And so we have grown together a lot in that because we were raised very similar. And we both knew that there was more. Like, it just didn't feel right that you're telling me that this is wrong when I know that it's not. And we've really grown that way, and I'm so much more secure in spirituality than religion. And it's two different things, You can be a spiritual person without being a religious person. And that's what I really had to, that took me a long time to become comfortable with. And we really worked on that a lot together, talking hours upon hours of talking about the church and how they do one thing one way and we do things another way, and it doesn't mean that we're wrong. Everybody, it works different for everybody. Spirituality is such a huge thing, and you just can't put it in a box. And we had to unlearn a lot of stuff, and it was really hard. Some of those things that we had to walk through were really, really difficult.
Yeah, they were really difficult, especially as I've been, over the past few years, things have started to really gel for me with my spiritual walk. I have been doing clients for many years, and Kate is incredibly gifted as well, guys. She's like a paranormal psychologist. She's amazing. She's in touch with things and has always been, even during our Gin and Jesus days, up and discerning spiritual warfare. She's like a warrior, where I'm more of like your feely kind of like, let's talk about it, let's figure it out. Kate is like cutting things with swords, not real swords, guys. She's not a samurai, but she's absolutely cutting spiritual things, and she understands when someone's maybe going into a darker or lower energy. She's a badass, I will say that, and it's weird because it's not my gifting. She gets physical signs from her angels. I don't get them. It's like that. It comes to me differently. She's such a spiritual giant in my life and so grounding. When I have doubts and second guess, she reminds me of my purpose, and I'm hoping that I'm able to do that for her. But I'm telling you, if you have a friend in your life, one of the key tenets is to be equally yoked. And even though Kate and I, we came from similar backgrounds, we have not always believed the same. And before we go today, I'll share quickly with you this story of us driving on one of our adventures somewhere, and I was talking to my angels about parking spaces many years ago. And Kate, I hadn't really started to talk to Kate. She knew that I was doing psychic work and readings and working with clients, and my angel work wasn't something I was talking about yet because I thought people would think I was crazy. So I said out loud, because I was comfortable with her, I didn't even think about it, oh man, I hope my angel caught me finding a parking spot. And do you want to tell them what you said to me?
I don't know if I remember exactly what I said, but I said, you're asking your angels for a parking spot? Are you kidding me? I'm sure it was something along those lines. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous.
She was through with me, y'all, like hashtag through. And I was like, no, I talk to my angels all the time. And then I start like word vomiting my explanation of my kind of emerging spirituality. And she's like, Monette, that is ridiculous. And Kate has a look, y'all, that will cut you. So she just looked at me, that is ridiculous. So I was even in the closet to Kate about this. But she has so grown, and I'm so proud of her because we went from have you lost your mind to her sending me pictures of feathers, because that's one of the ways that her angels communicate with her all the time. I don't get those signs. Like, this girl's so gifted. She physically finds feathers everywhere in the weirdest places. And so now she knows I'm not crazy because she's had her own journey. But what I love about her, and I love about friendship, period, and I pray for all you listeners out there that you intersect a friendship like this, is that Kate gave me the space to grow. Even though she thought I was crazy as crazy could be, cray-cray, she still loved me and gave me the space to grow into what I am today, which is here, sharing all the words with you guys. So thank you, Kate. I love you so much and appreciate you for all the work you do with me.
Well, thank you, and vice versa, because just even though I thought at the time that was crazy, it planted a little seed in me. And now I talk to my angels all the time, and I had to ask for signs because of that Sagittarius. I'm very stubborn, kind of. If I don't see it, I kind of don't believe it. And so my angels knew that, and they send me physical signs all the time. So they're so good, and we have grown so much together. And I appreciate you, because talk about patience. You've been very patient with me as well.
Like Job, y'all. You need to be patient like Job when Kate's your friend, girl. Yep, a little dig right at the end.
Wow, that was a dig. Okay, I'll remember that next time.
I know, I'll be punished for it later, guys. Don't worry about it. We're going to say goodbye to you guys together, which is not normal for the show. This is the last show of this calendar year. I'll be back in the new year with some fantastic guests, some interesting topics, and we will continue our conversations, and we will continue to evolve together. So I want to thank you, Kate.
You're welcome. It was so much fun. I can't believe it's already over. You're right. It did fly by.
It did. She hated the whole idea of this, guys, but look how fun it was. We got to share with you. So thank you for helping us evolve, and we'll continue next year to evolve together. Bye, guys. Say bye, Kate.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bye, guys. I'll be back, I'm sure.
All right. Bye. Have a great New Year, guys. Happy holidays.